Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kiran Sispal, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of uHONCHO. I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine, Ali. Ali is a freelance photographer. What started out as a hobby 4 years ago for Ali has now turned into a full-time freelancing career. His work takes him all over the UAE and even overseas. But about a year and a half ago, I sat down with Ali over a coffee. He looked tired and stressed. Figuring out my finances is killing me, Kiran. I feel like I'm spending so much time trying to chase my clients to actually pay me and make sure that I get paid for my work, and also trying to work out my expenses, than I am doing what I love. And then he dropped the bombshell. I don't even think I can afford to carry on freelancing anymore. This is what happens when great potential and overwhelming frustration meet in the same place. Ali is so gifted at his art, but he was drowning in a sea of admin that he didn't have the time to do, nor the tools to help him do it. In fact, a survey that was recently published in Europe shows that, on average, freelancers are spending around 24 days per year on admin-related tasks, such as sorting out their invoices and their expenses. 24 days. That's almost a month of lost revenue. You see, the problem is that there are so many apps out there, but no real tools. These guys have a ton of potential, but no real growth. And Ali isn't alone. I've worked in the banking sector now for 10 years, focusing primarily on the credit risk space, both here in the UAE and also in the UK. And I can tell you that the single biggest reason why people's businesses fail is a lack of foresight and planning. uHONCHO aims to solve this problem by giving freelancers an insight into their finances, allowing them to plan, budget, and forecast. Through the app, freelancers are able to manage their schedule, they're able to send invoices directly to their clients, and they're also able to digitize their expense records on the go, all in one easy and simple to use app. We've designed this platform to minimize any time that is spent on manual administration. And the analytics that we're able to provide our freelancers are both relevant and comparable, but more importantly, they're easy to understand. More people than ever are choosing to freelance around the world. In the US alone, the freelancing workforce earned an estimated $1 trillion in 2016. Today, there are over 100 million freelancers all around the world, and this trend is catching on in the Middle East. In fact, a recent survey that was published showed that 7 in 10 professionals in the MENA region now think that freelancing is a possible career option for them. So we need to be clear, our world is changing, and we need to be ready with the right tools and support to help our freelancers wherever they are and whenever they need that support. Oops. Our business model works on a 3-part system. We offer 2 subscription packages, a monthly and annual. We also offer downloadable toolkits, help and advice on our website, and we also provide one-to-one consulting services as part of our premium package. If we look at the solutions that exist today, we can see our competitive advantages. There are no players in the Middle East, so we will be the first to market. While we are learning from our competitors in Europe, who focus on one aspect of a freelancer's business, my experience in banking has shown that it is vital to connect the financial and non-financial indicators of a business in order to give a true oversight of the health of a business. Our team is small and agile. I have 10 years of banking experience, gained primarily in the UK and also in the Middle East. And I also hold an MBA in finance. My co-founder is a full-stack developer who's launched a range of apps in the UK, and he's worked for some of the largest tech firms in the world, including Apple and Intel. Together, we share a passion for good UX design. We've now arrived at a place where we have a working prototype of our platform, and we are beta testing over the coming months. We're also looking to make some key hires in order to make sure that we hit our target to get to market by Q2 of next year. And we're also seeking the right partnerships to help us build an ecosystem for freelancers in the MENA region. I'd like to thank you all for your time today, and I would love to connect with anybody who may be interested in working with us to help provide a better place for freelancers to work. Thank you.
Number 2? Okay. Yeah, you said that there are 100 million freelancers. Well, what will be your first kind of customer segments?
Okay, great question. I mean, obviously, it's very easy for any startup to think that they can take over the world, and that's really not what our strategy is. I think what we've recognised, both in the UK market and obviously me being out here in the Middle East, is that there is a real need for freelancers who operate in fragmented markets. So we are looking to target the artistic industries to start with. So this is like your freelance photographers, your makeup artists, you know, your hair people, people in hair and beauty, that kind of thing. Home workers, home-based workers are a big target for us because we feel that we need to create some kind of platform to help connect these people and help educate them through financial literacy to really give them the tools that they need.
So can you tell me more about the services that are offered on the app? Are we talking HR? Are we talking invoicing, expense management?
Sure.
I mean, because it could be a very wide field of things you can do on the app, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the 3 basic things that we actually want to tackle for these freelancers is managing their time and their schedule. So we have an inbuilt schedule and diary management tool, which allows them to really find out what clients they actually have, and we can start to mine that data to give them analytics on how they're growing their business. So that's the one aspect. The second aspect is that we do want to look at the invoicing, because this is a terrible pain. You know, it's definitely a pain point for many people that work in the self-employed space. So what we'd like to do is, and we've already built this in the platform, is allow the freelancers to create invoices on the app and send that through our web application, web platform to the client. So they have a digital receipt of what the service is that they've booked. And then the third aspect is the expenses. So we are looking at building over the next few weeks an inbuilt tool which will allow freelancers to take a picture of their receipts on the go, and that data will then be aggregated into our database, and we can then obviously roll out the analytics to give them an insight into how much they're actually spending. And when we're looking at the combination of financial and non-financial information there, what we'll be able to do is actually give the freelancer a wider connected view of how well they're actually performing, and whether they need to look at their expenses or whether they need to look at the types of clients that they're actually soliciting for business. So that's the 3 main propositions.
Do you have anything for VAT in the roadmap, since UAE is now getting VAT and you're working in London and they obviously have it? So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great question. I think that there's question marks for VAT all over the UAE, to be honest, and I work for a bank out here as well. So what we are looking to do is tackle this, not through the app at this stage, because we feel there is such we're kind of in an embryonic stage at the moment here in the region. But where we are able to add value, and myself in particular, is providing the advice on our website, giving them toolkits and tackling financial literacy in that way. I think that education is the key, and by doing that, we're able to then bring on people onto our platform. I hope that answers your question.
One last question. I think while there's a burning problem you're solving,
yes.
But have you thought about what some of the adoption challenges that you will face?
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously coming from the UK, it's very easy to assume that people are going to adopt technology. And what we've really, what I've discussed with my co-founder is that it's important to be on the ground out here. It's important to speak to people, real businessmen and real businesswomen. I'm already speaking to people from, you know, my connections at work, and obviously some individuals that I've met through this program, on how we can maybe start testing the platform and seeing whether or not it's actually hitting the areas that they need to solve their problems. And by doing that and marrying that up with social media marketing and also the content that we're going to be providing on the website, I do believe that we'll be able to target a much wider range of people in the UAE.
Thanks. Big hand for Corinne.